This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
I want to mention, in these house show matches, we've never really talked about how physical they could be. Austin has earned a reputation for being, I guess, what a lot of guys would call snug. Sometimes whenever he would have people on his podcasts, like John Cena, for instance, he would say, "Oh man, you got to snug up that STF. It's a little too loose for me." And he's even been critical way back when of Jeff Jarrett, said, "Oh, he didn't run the ropes hard enough," and things like that. Did you find working with Austin to be more difficult or more physical than any other opponent, or was that not your experience?
Yes, him and Chris Benoit were the two most physical athletes I've ever faced in the ring. Austin was very physical. That's the one thing about him that made him special. He was really intense. He kept the intensity up very high, and he was very physical.
Did you have a preference? You've told us before here on the show that sometimes when Shawn Michaels would hit you with the super kick, you wouldn't even feel it. But it looked phenomenal. But then with Austin, if he's throwing some lefts and rights, well, some of those are going to land. Did you have a preference?
They are going to land. Yeah, I was comfortable with being snug because I was snug.
Yeah,
and that's just one thing that I tried to work on my finesse, but there were times when I throw punches or kicks, they're gonna stick, they're gonna hurt, and Austin was the same way, and I enjoyed that because in order to give it, you have to be able to take it. And I did.
So in a match like that, where you're working with Austin and he hits you with, for lack of a better word, a live round, that's his style. So maybe you don't take it personally, but just because it's protocol, do you send a live round back as I guess they call it a receipt in the business?
I never sent a receipt because I didn't even know if someone was trying to stiff me. Because I work snug as it is. And if somebody stiffed me, I just thought they were snug. So I didn't even know if I ever got a receipt for anything I did. But it's just a part of being very physical in the business. That's the way I am. And I would expect the same from the other guys.
You're working pretty hard with Austin on all the house shows in this era. Do you remember what the money was like back then? I'm not asking for you to give specifics, but if you're working on top with Austin in 01, where seemingly the business is trending down post WrestleMania 17, is it still like high fives all around when the paydays come out? Or is it starting to get a little disappointing? Like, damn it, I was expecting more.
For me, it was awesome.
Right.
The pay was 2 or 3 times more than I usually got, even being in the main event. When you're up against the top guy in the company, you're going to get paid a lot more money. And there were a lot of top guys in that company. If you wrestled Austin or The Rock or Undertaker or Triple H, you got paid the big bucks. It was relatively simple. That's just how it was. And eventually I became a top guy, and anybody who wrestled me got the big bucks. So eventually down the road, I ended up being one of the top 3 guys in the business. And anybody that would wrestle me would get that kind of money too.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.